thank everybody for joining this discussion today. We are bringing to you the current topic, which is MSP hypergrowth with hyperautomation. Okay, we will discuss today how to implement and grow your RPA service business. So without further ado, let's get started. First off, who is ElectroNeek? We are a digital automation platform focused on the growth of your business. Okay, we serve MSPs and IT service providers on a global level. We go much beyond being just a software vendor. We are a full business suite that enables you to build, sell, and support your automation service business. It is very nice to meet you. Your speaker for today is me, Thiago Carlucci. I am the head of global campaign marketing for ElectroNeek. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you today. Let me quickly go through the agenda that we have for this discussion. We have automation market and opportunities. We're going to talk a little bit about that, recurring revenue and why it's important, your path to success and what does that look like. We'll touch upon the ElectroNeek platform, and we'll have a Q&A session at the end. So make sure to drop your questions in either in the chat or in the Q&A section that you have there. Okay. So a quick background: business needs have changed since the adoption of computers in business. Each decade has seen a very significant leap forward in technology and processing capabilities altogether. The last 20 years have been largely driven by the adoption of cloud computing and SaaS models. Yeah? In the next 20 years, the revolution of the next 20 years has already begun, and that passes through automation and software bots. Right? We're in the beginning of this revolution, and we're just getting warmed up. You can see here intelligent automation. Yeah, what are companies doing? Here we have a survey from Deloitte trying to understand what is the technology portfolio that supports intelligent automation strategy. What is the commonplace out there today of features and tools that are being adopted? So we can see RPA with a very significant share here, is 78% already being implemented, and then you have other tools like OCR, AI, right? I mean, I think everybody has seen what has been discussed lately in terms of AI. And also the last point here, low code technology. That is a revolution because it makes it much more accessible and easy to use. So here are just some of the examples that we see, and RPA being the first one here. We see that it is a growing market. Automation is a growing market. And you have RPA market software and services until 2025 with an outlook of over $20 billion. So we're just scratching the surface. We're just getting started. This is a strong opportunity to capitalize on this growth here and now with ElectroNeek. Okay, so we see a very, very strong growth of the RPA market moving forward. And there's a huge opportunity because traditional RPA vendors today, they focus largely on enterprises with big budgets and complex projects. Yeah. So we see that the UiPath and Automation Anywhere is out there. They actually focus on a very small part of the market, on the very top of the pyramid, let's say, with those large enterprises. And 80% of the RPA market opportunity is actually in the SMB. It's actually in the mid-market. And that's where ElectroNeek comes in. ElectroNeek is the only RPA platform out there today that is customized and focused on MSPs and IT service providers to enable you to tap into the mid-market in a competitive way. So why do traditional players fail? They actually block your access to the SMB market. They represent a high entry barrier with fees and infrastructure, and you need a better solution to take to the SMB market. So there is a new way of doing business. And with our model, you have total control over your automation service business. You have the ElectroNeek platform, and the ElectroNeek platform has it is built on an architecture that has three hubs: the automation hub, the business hub, and the service hub. And we service IT service providers to and enable you to build bots and build an automation service business to attend to the SMB market. So basically, what we don't have any channel conflict. We do not move onto your end customer. That is entirely to you. Everything that is client facing, that is your ownership. We do not in any way communicate or charge any kind of fee or usage fees from your end user. Okay, we have a fixed annual value that gives you access to the platform, and having access to the platform, it enables you to build, sell, and support automation for your clients. Okay, and here we see a little bit of the platform cost and your revenue. So here we have comparing other players to ElectroNeek. We see that the cost of other players is huge, right? I mean, there is the development licenses and bot licenses and so on. With ElectroNeek, you have a fixed annual contract with us that gives you access to the platform. And with that, you can build your business on that. And so the margins that you get, the profit margins that you get with ElectroNeek are much bigger. You can have more competitive pricing with a much bigger margin, okay? That is a huge opportunity to build sustainable recurring revenue. And why is recurring revenue important? So the benefits of recurring revenue is that you can have stability, right? I mean, you can forecast your business. You can have a very clear outlook of your cash flow long term. That helps you in decision making of where to take the business and what are the next steps forward, attract investors, and it gives you overall stability and cash flow visibility. That's most important. Okay, so I want to talk about two different models of adopting RPA, of serving your clients with automation in RPA. One is the project-based model that is basically a one-time payment, and the other one is the subscription model that brings you recurring revenue. So we're going to talk a little bit about these two different models and compare the pros and cons of each of them. So starting with the project-based model, you only get paid once, right? So the project model is basically everything that is involved in the initial project cost, so design, development, and the deployment of the project in one-time payment, okay? That is a large down payment from the customer to you, but it's one time and not recurring. So it's one huge payment, and that upfront cost means that it's a very high entry barrier for the SMB market, especially because I mean, projects can vary from $15,000 to $50,000, and that is a very large cash expenditure upfront for the SMB market. So it ends up blocking that adoption of automation through the SMB or by the SMB. And that's where the subscription model comes in, right? The subscription model is, it allows you to practice a smaller entry ticket because all of that initial project costs, the deployment, the architecture development, and the deployment are diluted in monthly installments for the client. So let's say you have a 2-year contract. All of that will be diluted in 24 monthly payments to you. So there's no upfront payment, mid-sized tickets for the MSP, but they're 100% recurring and long-term. The cost barrier is low for the end user, which allows entry or penetration into the SMB market. You can start with smaller processes and then expand within the client. And you retain the intellectual property. That is also important because you're not selling the bot, you are actually renting the bot. So that intellectual property is yours. That's why ElectroNeek strongly advocates and enables you to do subscription model for RPA as a service. Okay, and what does that represent in terms of cash flow? So the subscription model reduces entry barriers for SMBs and it generates a relationship with upsell potential and long-term recurring revenue. Here we have a representation of revenue and time. So this is basically cash flow. We can see that the project-based model has that huge one-time payment upfront, and eventually you can have small incremental maintenance revenue. keeping in mind as well that if you work with the traditional RPA vendors, that maintenance revenue or all that revenue, a big part of that, a huge chunk of that actually goes to the RPA vendor in terms of licenses. On the other hand, if we look at the subscription model, here you have an ever increasing possibility of cash flow, because you can start smaller, you can upsell, you can develop in that relationship, you can look into adjacent processes in the client to expand that automation. So once you give them a taste of the return on investment for a small process, he will like that, and he will continuously want to automate adjacent processes around that first one. And that's where the upsell potential comes in. So you have a possibility of having an ever increasing cash flow with the subscription model. And keeping in mind that working with ElectroNeek, there are no license fees, there is no running cost fees and so on. So, I mean, that revenue is 100% yours, okay? And as a summary here, what are the advantages of RPA as a service? So retention of clients for the long term, what we call client stickiness. Yeah, I mean, you have a 2-year contract and that will continue. You can, after those 2 years, obviously you can pull off, but you can renew that contract. So client stickiness and retention of that long-term relationship is important. Reduce sales cycles. You can, starting with smaller tickets, starting with smaller and less complex processes, gives you the opportunity to have a lower entry ticket and reduces your sales cycles. You can penetrate the market much quicker. And recurring revenue streams, as we described. Yeah, working with the RPA as a service gives you that cash flow stability and recurring revenue streams. And what does your path to that revenue look like? Yeah, we have identified from our most successful customers, what is the path to revenue? What is the path to success? So we broke that down in 3 steps. And we bring that to you today in the sense that the first step would be to automate the everyday tasks your IT team spends time on. Okay, so it's important that you start internally implementing RPA. I mean, you can significantly leverage your efficiency in your own business, and you start to gain knowledge around RPA, which will accelerate your learning curve and give you much more confidence moving forward. Secondly, offer ElectroNeek standard cases to your clients. Yeah, so we have what we call recipes in our platform for a different number of use cases that you can start from and offering that to your current customers. And as a third step, develop your own cases and acquire new clients. So you go to your go-to-market strategy, where you start really prospecting and adding additional clients to your business. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about these steps. Automate your internal IT processes. That's the most efficient way to start your RPA journey, is to implement RPA internally first. I mean, you increase efficiency and become much more productive. Reduce costs and increase your margins. You train your staff and your automation developers. This is very important. Everybody gets wrapped around what RPA is, how it works, and you really accelerate your learning curve. You have the possibility to have your own showcase of automation, so you have a lot more confidence and more property when speaking to the customers and offering that out, because you have the experience of implementing and you have your own return on that investment as well. So automate your internal processes first, gives you much more confidence, gives you efficiency in your operation and much more confidence because it accelerates your learning curve. Common use cases to start from. So 99% of business need automation in their everyday applications. So we see here different examples of where you can start from. Legacy automation, I mean, implementing integration between different systems that don't have native integration today. Limitless SaaS automation, a lot of applications. I mean, the number of different applications that companies use has grown significantly over the years. Most of those applications, or a lot of those applications, don't have native integration among them. So RPA is something that comes in very handy to automate workflows and repetitive tasks among these different applications. Document processing is very, very commonplace to use RPA. Reporting, I mean, Google Sheets, at some point, we've seen that 70% of automation at some point touches a spreadsheet. Also, sales enablement, I mean, you have different systems, CRM systems and outreach systems that you can use to automate. Web scraping, very common in e-commerce business, that you have to get product information, pricing information, features, etc., out of websites. And user management in terms of passwords and credentials is also something that is very common. So we have all of this in our platform in terms of recipes and how-tos. Yeah. So again, first step, implement internally, use cases to do that. Second step would be automate tasks for your own customers. So once you've learned, you've implemented internally, you've gotten that confidence, you've trained your developers, you can start then offering this service to your customer. It's much easier to start with your own customer base than going after new customers in the beginning. Yeah, I mean, you have a relationship with your customers already. You know their pain points and what kind of automation services they need. You can automate the services that you already provide to them, adopting RPA on top of those services, and that will give you quicker return on investment. So after you've implemented RPA in your own operation, then you can start offering RPA services to your customer base, and then source revenue from new customers. Now that you know the use cases and are confident on delivering RPA to your customers, you can prepare your go-to-market strategy and basically conquer the world. Yeah. So sales enablement, very important. Sales decks, templates, what your pitch is, what your positioning is, marketing collaterals. You need to have a lot of content. So ebooks, newsletters, website, obviously, videos really helps, and lead generation. Yeah. I mean, working with inbound and outbound, social media, eventually paid ads, having those reps also on the phone, engaging with prospects is very important. So this would be the third step moving forward in that success journey, which is then going to the market. Okay. And how does ElectroNeek help you? I mean, we are the only one-stop shop you need to implement RPA for you and your customers. Yeah, I mean, we can focus our trials, our proof of concept trials, tailored to your needs. We identify the best time to value use cases. We know the best practices in the market. We have very close communication and statistics from our customers, and we know what's working out there. We can share that as well. We help you build your first bot and first internal implementation. We have solutions engineers and sales engineers that are trained and available to assist you in implementing your first projects. Yeah, and our platform has everything you need. It is a very comprehensive product approach that we have, again, with the full business suite ready to enable you to start and grow your service business, your RPA service business. And this is what the platform is. The platform is a very comprehensive architecture of 3 hubs. We have an automation hub, the business hub, and the service hub. So again, a very complete business suite for you to build, sell, and support your RPA service business. So let's jump in quickly into each of these to explain. I will not take too long to explain a little bit of how each of these hubs work. So the automation hub is a no-code, low-code environment where it's very, very user-friendly, probably one of the most user-friendly development suites in the market today, where you can create automation software bots in a snap. Yeah. So you have the control center for the bots that you create, free to download bot runner to launch unlimited bots for your customers. No additional charges for unattended bots. And this is important to point out that we are effectively the only RPA platform out there that has no kinds of additional fees, neither for additional bots, not running fees, because other players may say that they don't charge per bot fees, but if you look deeper, they have some kind of running costs for you to run those bots. So in the case of ElectroNeek, you have, again, a one-time payment for access to the platform, and your scalability is limitless. And also API for any complex project. So again, the Automation Hub, very friendly environment, very friendly development environment for very quick ramp up of developers to start your software bots. And then comes the Business Hub, which is a virtual MBA in RPA. Everything that you need from the business point of view, frameworks for success. You have your learning path for sales, your learning path for marketing, and much more. Okay, we really put together here a very complete set of assets to help you and to give you that boost during that implementation journey. Okay, so the Business Hub is a very complete set of tools as well. And then we have the Service Hub, which is the technical support on demand. Yeah, this is our after sales environment. You have the development support for your first RPA project, structured in-depth help center. You have direct communication channel with the tech support and the community forum. Okay, everything you need to from the ElectroNeek side to give you support on your automation service business is in the Service Hub, and that is again built in to the architecture, built into the platform. So you have everything you need in the platform. I will go back a couple of slides here, and you will see again the full architecture: Automation Hub, Business Hub, and Service Hub. Very comprehensive product approach in the platform. Okay. Very well, and that's what I have for you guys. I would like to open a quick Q&A session. Feel free to drop in either in the chat or in the Q&A if you would like to, and we'll go ahead and answer some of those. And I will already leave here this QR code for you guys to scan and book a meeting with us today. Okay, this make sure that you book a meeting with us, guys, because this is going to we're going to be able to give you a more one-to-one customized view of how ElectroNeek can support your business. Okay, and I see a question here in the poll: current number of active members in the community. Oh, that's a good question. I don't know from the top of my head the current number of active members, but I can get that information to you. Okay, I know it is pretty big. We are a global company, and we have clients all over the world, North America, Latin America, Asia, and Europe. So it is a pretty big community. Can you give a few examples of recipes that you have on hand? I can, absolutely. Let me do, I will take this moment. I will actually do the following thing here. Let me just stop sharing my screen for a second. I will actually open the platform to show to you, because I think it's important, because you will see the platform firsthand here. We've never done this before, but I think it's going to be important for you to see this. Here you see this is the initial page of the platform. Okay, so you have Automation, Business Hub, and Service Hub. If we go into the campus, we have here all of these marketing journey, build casebook, build your team, content marketing, and so on. Okay. In the wiki, we also have the starter kit, marketing journey, executive journey, and so on. Okay. So just a quick, it's showing quickly for you guys how this works. And here are the recipes. So the recipes are here: sales enablement, digital document processing, reporting automation. So eventually, if you go in here, you see the problem definition solutions. You have instructions on how the bots are built, and so watch a demo step by step, and so on. Okay, this is a little bit of the environment here. How do you manage relation with MSPs in country market? Okay, this is a very good question. So we actually have a regional sales structure and a regional customer success structure. So we have people in the markets that are on a one-to-one basis with our clients. Yeah, and I just got the answer here that we have 500 active users in our community forum today. So here's another question that is very, very important: how to approach small business and show them the value of automation. Most businesses are not open to automation, the ones that I have spoken to. So this is a very valid point. Yeah, I think one of the most important ways is to show the return on investment, or better saying, quick time to value. Yeah, and that's where also we enable you, and the subscription model enables you to start small. What does that mean? You don't have to automate very complex projects in the beginning to show that value. You can start automating small processes. You will have a quick time to value and quick return on investment for that client. And in that way, you can try to penetrate or break those objections. Yeah, it's not a huge investment. There is quick time to value. You can start small. And so those arguments are very much appropriate to breaking that initial objection of investing. Oh, I don't know if this is going to work for me. So we've seen that a lot in the SMB market, where we have smaller processes being implemented at first. We even have a client that actually was doing free demos. So he would put together a small software bot where he would use that in showcasing his services to companies. And like the first month or first 3 months were free, and he would just implement that automation and really give those customers a taste of what the possibilities were. Yeah. I do not find ElectroNeek in Gartner's Magic Quadrant. Is there a large gap in the platform capabilities versus the other? No, so again, the quadrant is very much focused on the enterprise world. Yeah. And we, from ElectroNeek, we advocate more the penetration into the SMB. Okay, so it's a different positioning there. Okay, I don't see any more questions. So I think that's what we have for today. I will stop sharing my screen, and yeah, so I will give you guys some time back in your day. Thank you everybody for joining, and join us in the next round next week. We have on the 16th, we have a webinar as well. We'll be sending out invitations today. So make sure that you look out for that, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much.